Stop in a bit.
All right, what's up, Lemonheads? Welcome to Season 7, Episode 51. It's the Evening Juice with Lemon City Live. I'm your boy Fungus. We got Edwin Finsterdamus over there.
Robbins.
Achilles. What is it? Sports Are Dumb Carminati. Yeah, that was his birthday. That was his birthday weekend theme. And joining us once again, Ruthie Polinsky from NBC. How's it going, Ruthie?
Guys, it's been too long. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for not being scared to join us again.
Yeah.
You guys are my biggest fan club. Remember, I was like giving you therapy at one point.
Yes.
That's true.
Dr. Ruthie.
We haven't had Dr. R, and it's been a mess ever since.
It has
back.
been.
Yeah. All right.
And that time we were talking Dolphins back then. Today we might dabble a little Dolphins, but today it's a little Heat stuff. Maybe a little more optimism.
Talk about a good team.
Yeah, let's talk about a good team here.
We want to feel good.
Wow. I really feel.
All right, let's do the get to know your questions, Gus. Right to it.
Oh yeah, let's get right to it.
All right,
Ruthie,
simple.
we're gonna ask you 3 quick hitter questions. Right? No context.
None.
This is what we do with all our guests, and we didn't do it with you at Onside. So, Edwin,
All right.
shoot him.
Question numero uno. Biggie or Tupac? Oh, you weren't expecting that. Look at the face.
Biggie.
All right. Nice.
East Coast girl.
All right. Wait, where's the... All right. So number 1 in the books there. All right. Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo?
You
Can
can
I
say
say
no.
Game Boy?
You can
There
say
you go.
no. Yeah, that's
All right.
Nintendo.
All right. That's Nintendo. We'll go with that. And all right. So which one should we go with for the third one here?
Ooh,
Because that one's...
I got one.
you got one? Okay.
Yeah, Brady or Belichick.
Oh, there you go. That was... Normally it's different. It's for the local, but we know where you come from. We know your
Yep.
roots, so we made it harder for you.
I'm going to go Tom Brady.
Nice.
I was going to use profanity there, but I chose not to. Tom Bleepin' Brady.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome. So we got a Tom Brady who listens to Biggie and while she's playing on her Game Boy. Is it Tetris? Are you like old school, like Tetris player, or
What was I playing? Like Mario?
Yeah,
I
Mario.
don't remember. That was a long time ago, guys. I don't dabble anymore.
Speaking of Mario, you excited for Chris Pratt as Mario? People seem to be upset about that.
that's really caused up quite a stir. I
Isn't
had
that
no
so
idea.
weird? Why would people get upset about something like that? It's kind of weird.
It's just ridiculous.
No hot takes on that,
We're gonna
Ruthie?
try, no takes for you there, guys.
All right.
Out of that loop.
We got to get out of the video game talk. Let's
Yeah,
keep it
yeah.
moving.
Let's
For
keep it
real.
going.
Are we supposed to talk sports today? Okay.
Tricked you. Nah.
So again, season 7, episode 51. Again, here we go. We're gonna get started here. Big thank you to Ruthie again for joining us. Ruthie, you hung out with us many weeks on Onside when we were doing that during the Dolphin season last year. It's been a long time since we've had you on here, but at the same time, a lot's happened. You're back in studio. We're back at the games. You've also, how long have you been in Miami now?
So I started in March of 2020.
Ooh, right
so
at
it's
the
been about a year
start.
and a half. Half.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice. All right, and you've gotten a taste of all the sports here. Is there one that you've kind of? I mean, I know you're northeastern person who likes
Nice
to. Yeah. But is there one that you've enjoyed covering a little more than the others here?
Well, I'm a little biased there because as we've kind of gotten into this season of 2020, 2021, things are getting more and more in person. So it's been so fun to be able to cover the Dolphins in person. And then this week we started our Heat coverage in person. It's going to be my 3rd season covering the Heat. And yesterday was the first time that I got to shake Eric Spoelstra's hand. So it's been a weird year and a half, but yeah, I mean, I don't play favorites here, guys. I mean, it's just fun to be in person. That's all I'll say.
Awesome. Well, we're glad that you've joined us here in South Florida. You bring your own spin to everything that you cover. We love it, and again, we're thankful that you're here. But let's get started. It's Heat. You mentioned it. It's media day. You were there take us through. I mean, what's the excitement? Was there a pulse? Were people? Is it just a general optimism, or was there something different in the air yesterday?
So is it a hot take if I say they're going 82-0?
That's what's up.
This show is all about Heat propaganda. So yes,
Yeah.
Listen, I love it. Let me tell you, there is so much swag in that building, and I know that the Heat have been notorious for having swag, right? Like that's kind of the definition of Heat culture is just swag. But when I tell you, getting to meet these guys, Jimmy, of course, we know is probably the swaggiest of them all. But there's Jimmy Butler, and then you bring in Kyle Lowry. PJ Tucker is one of the more impressive, cooler humans that I've ever had the pleasure of sitting down with and talking to.
Wow.
And for the 5 minutes that we got together, we didn't talk about basketball. Like we talked about, he went to the Met Gala. Yeah. He's like just this cool, like fashionista, like just the coolest guy.
Really?
And he talks really quiet. And he like sits there, like just like chilling, and he's just like so confident and like just has this like cool way about him. Kyle Lowry was really cool to talk to. Obviously, that's a guy who's seen a lot of winning basketball, but you said walk you through the day. So basically, we sat down, all the TV stations sat down, and we each got like 5 to 7 minutes with pretty much anyone we wanted, including Spo, one-on-one, which was one of the cooler experiences of my career, just to kind of sit there. And obviously I've been covering this team for a year and a half. And that was my first time that I got to meet any of them. My introduction to all of them was like, hey guys, last time I saw you in person was March 11th of 2020. It was my second day on the air. The world shut down. So it was just it was really cool. There's a confidence, there's something in the air. I think the Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry storyline is going to be so fascinating to watch, to just kind of see how their leadership styles complement each other. And then even today was their first day of practice, and we got to kind of go in there when they're wrapping up and shooting free throws and threes and stuff. And then we talked to the team after their first practice, and they were like, yeah, like this is it. You know, I asked Bam yesterday, I was like, hey, like when you look at this roster and you see the guys' names, before I could even finish the question, he's like, it's legit. Like, we got it. You know, like he was like, we got it. So obviously I'm playing up to the hype because they're obviously going to hype themselves up. But it was just a blast. And I think there's this kind of quiet confidence. They're like, listen, we know that we're in a really tough Eastern Conference, and there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to be contenders like late in the year. And they feel very confident that they're going to be one of them.
Wow.
See, that's awesome that you were able to be there for all of that, for this current Heat squad, because I did Heat Media Day the year that ended up being the bubble, the year that ended in the bubble, and I was only able to get Philly cheese, and then I think that the week after that he was eating gummy bears, and then he was out of the team, so that sucks. So your experience was a lot better than mine.
My experience was, I'm going to take credit. Obviously, the one guy that I really, really wanted to talk to was UD, who is dealing with some family stuff. So,
okay,
that was a bummer. And he was, that's obviously someone I wanted to talk to him about, like, hey, like, what's going on with the Dolphins, like, because he's just this like Miami sports guy. Yeah. So, that was kind of a bummer not to be able to see him, but everyone else, it was just such a blast to get to know these guys.
That's cool. I had no clue this guy was so fashionista. Was it PJ Tucker? I had the gala.
Cool.
Wow.
I mean, I was like, wait, so I'm literally on your Instagram, and like, you're at the Met Gala, like, tell me about it. He was like, that was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life, other than winning a championship.
Close second.
Nice.
But, he was cool, and you learned so much. Victor Oladipo, I don't know if you guys saw this on Twitter, but he like serenaded me.
I did see that.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
What was he singing though? What was he singing? I couldn't make it out.
Now I'm like blanking. I'm blanking. I don't know the name, but I know the song.
It's good. Oh, he was singing. See, these guys here, they don't understand what's called the Masked Singer, where Victor Oladipo was a participant there.
Yep. Should have won, right?
Huh?
He should have won.
He should have. He was really good. Yeah. He was really good. And props to Ken Jeong, who guessed it. I had no clue. Like, I was like, it's a basketball guy. Last guy I thought it was going to be was Oladipo, and he nailed it like 2-3 weeks before he was eliminated. But yeah, these guys hate the Masked Singer, so I'm a big fan. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm not surprised. The boy's got chords. He can sing. You know what I mean? He can put it together. But it would be nice to see him put together a nice comeback. you know, little comeback player of the season. Yeah.
Sorry, I spilled a little hot tea on myself. I was just my producers are laughing at me. I was just gonna say that I didn't even watch The Masked Singer, but the reason I knew that Victor Oladipo could sing was because like I think it was the 2018 NBA awards or the 2019 NBA awards.
Mm-hmm.
The host or whatever knew that he would sing, and they went over to him and he like did a thing, and I was like, what?
Okay.
So I've kind of known that and followed him, and I've seen some stuff on social media or whatever. So I kind of milked that.
So and you gotta watch Masked Singer, not just keep it going.
So the Heat do that Heat karaoke every year, so that's gonna be that's
where
he
gone,
shines.
but they'll bring it back.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I
think there was one year where when we had the big three, where they did "Shy" If I Ever Fall in Love Again.
Harmonizing, doing the whole acapella and everything. No, we got
great.
some talented guys there. Speaking of talent, was there anything else that you found from anybody else that was like surprising? Any little hidden talents or something like that? Because I figure you don't ask the same basketball questions to each person. You gotta like mix and match here. And
I did a lot of prep work for this.
Okay.
Obviously, you can talk to them about basketball and try and get things that they're not going to tell other people. But the real stuff is like they love to talk about their hobbies. Like everyone wants to talk to them about basketball. So I knew that if I could get them going about other stuff, that would maybe open up the conversation a little bit. And so I know Duncan Robinson from Michigan. We both went to Michigan. And so I think we overlapped, a year. When we were there. And so then when I moved here, we have a ton of mutual friends and we kind of connected. And so that was fun to talk to him. And I'm obsessed with the Long Shot podcast. I don't know if you guys have followed, but Duncan started a podcast with one of his buddies, and which I actually learned today. It's actually Reed Sinnett's cousin is the guy that Duncan does this podcast with.
Wow.
So random. I learned that today. So, but anyways, he does this podcast and he has guests on there, and he had an episode with UD, and UD was just like so like himself and like honest and like told the whole like recapped the whole ejection from the season and stuff. So it's Duncan told me like my goal for that podcast is like to have guys come on there and like give a peek behind the curtain kind of and just like be themselves. Like I don't want it to be this like media like talk, that media talk. He wants it to be like very personality focused. And so it's been really cool to see. I asked him, I was like, who's your dream guest? Like who do you want to have on there? And he was like, whoa, like I haven't really thought about that. And he was like, obviously, like I would love like Michael Jordan since it's like a basketball podcast, but he was like, but I would want him to be MJ. Like I would want him to be like the savage, like MJ. I wouldn't want him to like put on a show,
Yeah, play poker with MJ. That'll be something.
He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's ever been like, oh, let me put on a public face. He's just always savage MJ.
So that was
be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, that was one thing. Jimmy Butler, you guys know Big Face Coffee. He's like actually making that a thing, and he traveled all over Europe to taste different coffees. And he's like starting basically franchises. It's been a long time in the works, and I think he's gonna like open up some coffee shops, like probably in Florida, which will be so cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
I talked to Tyler Hero about being a dad. He just had a baby. So I was like, who are you going to like be like, hey guys, like, how do I be a dad and also be in the NBA? Like, don't you need to like figure out how to do that? He's like, yeah, it's like still pretty new. Like he was like, it really hit. I was like, when did it hit you that like, holy bleep, like I'm a dad? And he was like, when we left the hospital. And I was like, what do I do? What do I do now? And I'm like, I don't care how old you are. I think every first time dad has that moment, like, oh my God, like I have
Big
a life.
Time.
So it was fun. I'm trying to think what else, but
wait, I gotta ask though. You got a firsthand close-up look at Jimmy's new hairstyle. What's up with the braids? Are we a fan? Are we liking this? We cool with this?
Whatever Jimmy wants to do, I love. Okay, I mean, he's like whatever he wants to do, just be you, Jimmy. That's all I want him to do. Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler is Jimmy Butler. He's going to do whatever he wants with his hair, and no one can criticize it. But I was also thinking of Bam. I talked to Bam for a long time about Bam would have sat there and talked to me for an hour, but like we were like on a time limit and he had other places to go. But he's just like the nicest guy, and just like a mama's boy. And we talked about his mom for like 7 minutes. Like, literally, I was like, "How's your mom?" Like everyone in this, in this region loves you and your mom. Like that's the story. And he was like, grinning with this big, I had to wear a mask, but the players didn't have to wear masks. So like this biggest, he's like, look at my face. Like, look at how I am when I talk about my mom. I'm
Boy
like,
loves
I
his
know.
mama.
He was like, I took her to Disney on Ice. And I was like, oh my God. He was like,
Wow.
yeah. And you know what? Like I took her with my personal chef who has a 3-year-old daughter, and he brought his family to Disney on Ice. And my mom was more excited than the 3-year-old. I was like, I love that so much.
That's
so yeah,
awesome.
just like really good, like, you know, get to know each other conversations. Like they were all just like really, it was really fun to finally see these guys in person for me.
So I saw Bam sort of taken by surprise with the fact that he's now a vet, right? This is like his 5th year, I think, in the NBA.
Yeah.
And it kind of caught him by surprise. Did he showcase any like vet status kind of stuff, or is he still, you know, the young guy on the team?
He's a baby. I mean, he's a big baby. Obviously, I think we'll see more of that leadership and veteran qualities when they're playing basketball. I obviously got to sit down with him, and you know, even today, like he's just a goofball. Like we were sitting with him. This was actually pretty cool. Today he wore UD's jersey at practice. He was wearing 40, and that was pretty cool. We're going to talk about that at 11 o'clock on NBC6 if anyone wants to tune in.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so he wore UD's jersey, and you know, that was kind of a cool moment for him, just to kind of be like, I wanted to make sure everyone knew like UD was still watching, you know. And so I guess you know, he talks about there's a lot of talk about this big 3, right? Like the new big 3. And I don't think that Jimmy totally shot that down today. He was like, yeah, I guess we're going to be 3 of the leaders on this team, but like we're all going to need to contribute. Like it's not going to be just 3 guys that are like playing basketball out there. Like we all need to be there and be good, which I thought was kind of a cool thing to say. But with Bam, like I think it's just this like goofiness, lighthearted attitude that's going to hopefully be more of a killer on the court this year. And, you know, we talked about his aggressiveness and how he wants to be a better shooter and maybe attack the rim more. Those are things that he wants to improve basketball wise. But he's just like, you know, he walks out of the media scrum and he sees me and he like gives me nuggets. He's like, what's up, shorty? Like, you know, it's just like, he's just a normal, you know.
Yeah.
He just happens to be gigantic. That's it.
Yeah.
Gigantic. And that was the other thing for me, guys. Like seeing these guys in person, like I obviously am around NFL players a lot now because I'm seeing these guys, you know, in person for the Dolphins. But to be around NBA players who have this like such a specific build, you know, like Bam is just, you know, ripped and massive and so tall, and he looks great. Jimmy looks to be in incredible shape. Who else I know? It's Tyler Hero. I told him that like he was trending on Twitter because like everyone thinks he's like buff now, you know. He was like, yeah, like I put on a few pounds, you know. But these guys are like really taking
they were asking if his biceps are real or fake.
New biceps really like they're real. And that picture I think was also just very flattering. That went viral.
Yeah, there was one like in the playoffs with Jimmy where like literally his entire body is just exploding.
Oh yes, that's right.
Exploding.
That was pretty gross.
It's so similar. So anyway, so that I mean, it's fun, guys. I love it. I kind of forget what we were talking about. What question we were about. But yeah.
We never know what we're talking about. It's okay.
Yeah, we get a little distracted every once in a while. But all right, so the Heat, we got some additions. You're saying that they don't feel like they were, you know, like this is a big 3. It's more like a shared leadership role that everybody's doing. With that, when we look at everybody else in the East, I know Milwaukee, obviously champion. They've got a solid squad, but we took a piece of theirs with PJ Tucker. I mean, I still think it feels like it's pretty balanced, although that's probably the homer in me talking. I don't know what what everybody else where everybody else pictures, or what do you say, where everybody else puts us at, you know what I'm saying? I know they got Brooklyn up at the top, which to me, Brooklyn, I get it. Look, I like KD, the guy is as a scorer, but that team just seems like, although I love watching James Harden like workout videos when he's showing off like all his dribble moves and all that stuff, like the guy just looks like a monster. But you know,
he looks like he just read the NBA playbook and he's trying to take advantage of loopholes.
Oh yeah, half the stuff he posts, I'm like, yeah, that's a walk, right? Like that's not illegal.
Yeah.
But
I think what stands out to me about the Nets, and this honestly just kind of all accumulated for me yesterday, but just like listening to Kyrie and the lack of kind of unification of that team and their mindset. Like,
oh yeah,
I understand that the vaccination topic is, permeating throughout the NBA. And that just wasn't a conversation yesterday with the Heat. It's like, yeah, we're going to do what we can to protect each other, and we're going to play basketball. We're going to hoop, and we're going to be good. Like, it wasn't even a conversation for them yesterday. It was like, I'm so happy to be back in person, normal, like things are getting back to normal, so
that's a good point.
To me, the Nets are just like kind of all over the place, like almost the opposite of like Heat culture, which is we are unified, we are one. We all have the same mentality, and that just does not appear to be the case for a lot of teams right now.
And all that nonsense still almost.
And if Kyrie doesn't get vaccinated, he can't play in home games. So like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, so there's a lot of question marks about that team. I think.
Isn't Wiggins and Golden State going through the same thing too? Like, did he already like say he's not gonna get it and he's gonna not play the games that he can't play?
He was dodging it. But
dodging. And Bradley Beal, I think, retracted some of his statement from yesterday and saying, I'm still considering getting the vaccine. So it's, I think when players are like, whoa, maybe I can't play basketball the way I thought I was going to if I don't get it, then they're going to, for me, guys, like, and I think a lot of people have said this, so this is not an original thought, but for me, the thing is, these are NBA players who have listened to doctors many times in their lives and have had surgeries and have gotten general anesthesia and have gotten, different things over the course of, their careers and whether it be in high school and college and the NBA. Just be consistent with whether or not you want to listen to doctors, because that's kind of the biggest thing for me right now.
Achilles pointed out with what's DeAndre Hopkins talking about in the NFL, where he's like, oh, I don't know if my safety with the vaccine, but he's like, my
team down and I'm gonna, have to retire. It's like, come on, bro, just do it.
All the hits that you're taking, that doesn't worry you, all that stuff, but that's where you're gonna be concerned. I mean, it's a weird thing. It seems very, clear and obvious, but yet there's a lot of people, and I don't know where it's coming from or who's influencing what.
And to the NBA's credit, they say they're at 90%, so it's like 40 dudes.
Yeah,
but still, they're very vocal.
They're being very vocal.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which I think that's dangerous. I think it's dangerous for the NBA. I think it's dangerous for society.
For sure.
And it just kind of gives, I think, the NBA in general a little bit of a bad look, even though their vaccination rate is so high. Because the guys that are speaking out are just kind of sounding a little, I guess, just either misinformed or uneducated or something. But
we'll go with those. We'll go with those. Yeah, we'll go with those answers.
Sorry, didn't need to turn this into a political show.
No.
It was on the list. It was on the list.
It's on the list. Yeah.
All right.
What's it like? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I love that dude is always connected. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man.
He's always got like the right perspective on everything, and he was talking about
that guy has been right for like 50 straight years about everything. Like, listen to him, bro.
For real.
Fascinating, dude. Fascinating.
And he was in a Bruce Lee movie. How about that?
Like
that. Oh man. All right. Well, we got you for a few more minutes here, Ruthie. So we gotta ask. You got us through last season. Dr. Ruthie was in the house.
Yes.
You talked us off the ledge. Tua was, came in. You told us everything that we needed to feel right and good. And we had a successful season last season, I thought, considering the circumstances. We're 1-2. We're not looking very good right now. Tua's on the shelf for quite a while. I mean, is there hope? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Or are we going in a whole new unknown direction and something else is going to evolve from this? Or are we going to get back on track? Like, because I've been carrying the Tua flag on this show for a long time, and I it's in the closet. I don't see me pulling it out for a while right now. Like, I really don't think that there's going to be a situation where
Didn't think I'd ever see the day.
I'm telling you, it's bad. I don't know. I'm really concerned about him, being able to come back. Like, I feel like because of the fragility that this injury has, and it could, it could sideline him for a long time. And then we're going to be this team, like we said, is a championship level defense. We have some stuff in play. Like, I feel like they're not going to sit around and wait. And I feel like the cord's very short with Tua. as opposed to some of the other quarterbacks that we've had here for like 9 years that did nothing. But how do you see it? I mean, are you optimistic that we'll be able to, get back to those expectations or that picture that we had painted at the beginning of the season?
I don't know how to say this nicely. No. Listen, I think the biggest concern about Tua coming out of the draft was his durability.
Yeah.
And here we are. He's he's started 11 NFL games and he's hurt for an extended period of time. And of course, it's challenging to evaluate what you have in Tua when you have a broken offensive line that can't seem to protect him. But I guess what worries me about this situation is that Jacoby Brissett, regardless of Tua's health, appears, in my opinion, to be the better option of the two right now because Jacoby is more comfortable in the pocket. He has way better pocket awareness and he can navigate it better. So that's kind of what worries me is Tua going to be your best quarterback when he comes back, given what's around him? So, and Jacoby's a veteran. He's seen a lot of football. He's seen a lot of defenses. And I think we're going to learn a lot about this team in the next couple of weeks. I think Jacoby's ability to play very solid situational football at the end of the half and then at the end of the game and then in OT, that was really encouraging, and maybe will give the offense a little bit of confidence and give the offensive coordinators confidence to do more with him. But I think, you got to beat the Colts. I mean, there's really no question about that. You need to beat the Colts. That's Jacoby's former team. I'm sure there's a little bit of a, hey, look at me now situation there.
Get back.
But I think when it comes to the longevity of this quarterback situation, that's not it, if you ask me. And I think you're going to learn a lot about the front office. You're going to learn a lot about what happens if they don't make the playoffs this year, because that was the expectation. Listen, we were one game away from making the playoffs last year. And yes, you had Ryan Fitzpatrick for 6 starts or whatever it was. 6 starts? How many games? 50 plays?
Somewhere around there.
7. Thanks, producer. So you had Ryan Fitzpatrick for, half-ish of the season. But I think Tua didn't look so good regardless in that first game. And again, it's hard to evaluate when you don't have really an offensive line at all. And he's just kind of free balling it out there. But I think there's going to have to be a solution at quarterback. And that's the most important position on the field. And that's what's going to get you to the playoffs and to Super Bowls and et cetera. So Tua missing 3 games isn't going to help his development. And then is he going to play a little scared or hurt? And this is not a joke of an injury that's, very painful and takes a while to come back from. And if he's not able to throw in these next 3 weeks,
3 games is the generous minimum here. Yeah.
Right. So there are so many factors in play. But if they don't make the playoffs, I think there could be some major changes to this organization.
Oof.
Unfortunately, because it's, you guys know it sucks. We want Tua to be good. There's nothing not to like about the kid. I mean, he's just, he can be the face of the franchise. And when you look at what Justin Herbert's doing, that hurts.
That hurts.
And so I think it's obviously hindsight's 2020 in lots of situations, but I just think last year's draft class is, especially the higher picks, has been very much a disappointment so far this year. And so there's going to be some evaluations to come, I guess. It's only week 4.
Didn't
want to be 1 and 2 going into week 4.
But like you said, Tua did look bad week 1. And the whole excuse for Tua was he didn't have a full off season. He didn't have the playbook, all that stuff, everything. He was injured up until the start of the season, so he couldn't get in football shape, all that stuff. This past off season, he had all of that, and he still looked like ass. Yeah. So there's no excuse.
I think we'd be remiss not to mention the Deshaun Watson situation. Obviously, what happens legally and, in terms of his suspension or whatever, however that plays out. But I think what is important to acknowledge is that there's clearly some interest there from the Dolphins. And I think that says a lot, regardless of how you feel about Tua. And I think you're looking at it from the perspective of an 81-year-old Stephen Ross who, just really wants to win a Super Bowl maybe before he sells the team. And you're saying like that guy right there, like you don't need an offensive line when he's your quarterback. Like you don't, you know what I mean? Like he's a top 5 quarterback in this league that is going to win you games just by himself. So I think that's, I don't know what's going to happen with that. It's beyond my pay grade, but I will just say that the fact that that's still kind of out there is fascinating to me.
That's insane. It's an ugly situation. That is insane.
Yeah.
Man, and we were so good last year. Like, there was so much optimism. Everything was good. And now this year it's like,
they weren't good. They weren't so good.
In compared to years past,
relatively speaking.
I hadn't had that good optimism in a while, and now
we weren't making it to
the
playoffs with Wildcat. We were legit on the right path towards the playoffs.
Yeah, dude.
Winning with defense and all that stuff.
It's been a hard one there. All right. Well, I guess I'll put away my Tua flag and on my. I'll go do that.
You know what you can hang up instead is an Xavier Howard flag, because that man deserves every penny, and he is keeping this team in games. He and the rest of the defense. I mean, it's a team effort on that side of the ball, and that's a defense that should be winning more games than what their offense is giving them.
Yeah. Hey, well, maybe your boy, like you said, Jacoby Brissett comes in here, and stranger things have happened, right? Backups coming in and taking teams to the playoff.
Hey, nobody expected the Dolphins to have a chance in Las Vegas, and they were Will Fuller dropped pass away from winning that game.
Yeah. They had some opportunities.
Pass interference.
Pass interference too in overtime. We should have had that.
He still should have caught that ball. It went right through his hands.
That's a hot take. There was a lot of things that wrong with that statement, but I'll let you fly.
Gus has high standards there,
Yeah, I don't think people thought the Dolphins were going to get blown out in Vegas. I think there were expectations that maybe they would lose, but not by a lot. I think that, the Raiders' best trait is their offense, and the Dolphins' best trait is their defense. So I think there were expectations that the defense was going to be able to contain them, which I think they did to an extent. I mean, they only scored, 25 points until it went to OT. So, I think there's a lot of optimism in terms of the defense.
Brian Flores got his work cut out for him. Yeah. He's definitely got his work cut out.
Guys, is that what's most upsetting to me is that they have the weapons on offense to get this thing done. And I think especially in the receiving room and the tight end room, and I think the running backs are good enough.
Exactly.
And so what's frustrating is that if you don't have a quarterback that can put those guys in good situations where they can be their best selves, it won't all click.
No, that's true.
Yep.
It's true. It's unfortunate because the other teams, if you look around the league and you see just even in our division, man, have you seen how bad the Jets are? That's a mess. Oh, man,
I don't think Mac Jones is as special as everyone initially thought he was going to be. So, there are a lot of things that could have gone better for the Dolphins, but it's not over yet.
We'll see. Like I said, Brian Flores got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, that's one other frustrating thing for me, and then I'll have to sign off here, guys. But the one thing that's frustrating to me is that Brian Flores is a championship coach. I mean, he's an incredible coach, and anyone who calls for his head doesn't know anything about football. I'll say it right there. But I think that he's doing what he can to figure it out. He's still a young coach, a young head coach in this league. But the Belichick disciples haven't had much success. I think, when you look at the Joe Judges, there's Rabel right now who's the tree. But I think Brian Flores is special, and players love playing for him. and that's huge when it comes to these guys who are making a lot of money. And I think he deserves to win a lot, and I think it's just going to take some time for him to figure it out.
Man. I think he's earned our patience as well.
Love that. That's a great little.
There you go. That's a perfect little bow on it. Yeah, Except that first and goal on the one and doing a couple of wildcat plays. All right, not just like, why are we getting cute, man?
That's
why
not
are we getting cute? All right. He's got to have a talk. Ruthie, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. We'll do it again soon.
If you want to tell anybody where to check you out tonight, you said 11 o'clock, NBC 6.
Oh, yeah. We'll do the news in about an hour and a half on NBC 6 at 11:18, 11:20, Giselle? 11:20. Yeah, watch our show.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ruthie. All the best. Have a great show.
Thank you, Giselle. Thank you, everybody at NBC.
Thank you, Giselle. You want to give a shout out? Hey, okay.
All right.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Take care.
I don't know how to get out of here.
We
got you.
There you go. Adios. Oh man, big thanks there to Ruthie, man. That was cool, man. That was cool to have her join us again. I like all these on-site throwbacks that we've been having, lately.
Yeah, man.
So,
yeah, bro. And if you like her takes, you can follow her on Twitter at Ruthie Polinsky.
Ruthie Polinsky on Twitter. She's everywhere.
How about the doc confirming exactly what I said on Friday about Tua and Jacoby Brissett, bro? How do you like that?
Yeah, you like
Great
that.
minds think alike, bro.
Great minds. You're right. I was hoping to get some more optimism out of her, but no, it's good to know that we're all just drinking the same. We're all like, man, we're all fucked.
There's nothing to be optimistic about.
Look, until they figure out that O-line, that team is not going to go anywhere.
Dude. It's a hard time. Hard
and
time.
Let's be real. As soon as they did that stupid ass screen pass that led to the safety, the game was over. I don't care how close it was. It doesn't matter. When you do something like that, you've lost the game.
Yeah. Although, I mean, I was impressed. Hella impressed by the Finns coming back, making it, as competitive as it was. Yeah. I was the one saying, hey, they're going to be, they're going to lose. They should have been, 0-3.
They were spotted a touchdown again.
Yeah.
So that again, so a lot of times, especially last year and now going into this year, everyone's like, oh, it was a close game. It's like, not really, because every single game they're getting a touchdown from their defense. That's not close. That's a win for the Raiders if you don't have Xavier Howard and one of the best defenses in the NFL who are on a streak of almost 30 straight games or something insane like that of getting at one turnover, dude. Like,
yeah, it's 25 or 26, somewhere there.
It was in the 20s already. Yeah,
it's 25.
Late 20s.
Unbelievable. But again, you don't want to depend on it, man. And
exactly. But that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Is that
Giselle just tweeted us.
Yeah.
Nice.
Giselle just retweeted us.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Thank you, Giselle. No, and the other thing though that she did hit on the head is that, like, yo, all right, we don't have the quarterback, but we got the weapons, man.
Yeah.
This should be you kind of have a little. You should have a little more expectation from those other guys. All right, Gesicki, they're not throwing it to you, but what can you do to get open more? I don't know. Like, there's got to be stuff.
Credit to Gesicki. He had big plays when it counted.
And I didn't mean to. For sure. That fourth down conversion to even give us a chance there was phenomenal. Bro, and I'm not singling him out. I'm just pointing out because he's one of our weapon guys. He's one of the Fuller, big guys. Fuller, Devontae Parker, Waddle, and even Myles Gaskin, who I feel like when they use Myles Gaskin, things work well.
And then they don't completely get away from him all the time. Yeah. It's so frustrating.
And again, I'm talking as a biased Myles Gaskin fantasy owner here.
I love Myles Gaskin, dude.
But I'm trying to keep it real here.
Everyone laughed at me last year when I was like, he's pretty good. Like, we don't really need to bring in another running back.
You were.
I'll give you that. Idiot.
I'll give you that. You were on the Gaskin train, and
again, I'm not saying the guy's a Pro Bowler, but he's good enough, dude.
But exactly, but he's shown that he does the stuff that you need. And again, when you've got guys like Fuller, Waddle, when you got three bona fide wide receivers, you know,
and a tight end, pass catching tight end,
and a tight end, and then you got guys like Albert Wilson and Jakeem Grant. And you got other guys that can spell the starters for downs at times. Bro. What
we have plenty.
Tom Brady. Oh man, Cindy stumped a mud hole in my face.
Yes,
I somehow was even worse.
She said sorry, not sorry. She was
how,
like,
how am I so bad at fantasy, dude, that I went from 89 points to 85? I lowered the bar.
bro, Achilles is bad at fantasy. That should be your name. Achilles, not sports are dumb. I'm bad at fantasy, Carminati. Or I'm dumb fantasy.
But
dude,
so DeAndre
Sydney was
Hopkins-
talking so much trash to you. You have no idea. I was here and she's like, oh my God, I don't even want to say anything to this guy because he's getting his ass kicked by a girl. And I was like, she's saying it. It was great.
I went risky with 3 receivers early. I took Hopkins, I took Diggs, and I took Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
Neither of those 3 people hit double digits.
Oh,
They combined for less than 20 points. Like, what am I supposed to do with that, dude?
Oh,
My
man.
kicker was better than any of the receivers, bro.
That's a bad day, bro.
It was. You had a bad day. I had a great fantasy day. I won both my leagues, but I lost my baseball fantasy championship.
So
man.
tough.
So bad. Oh, wait. Are we going to do juices? We haven't done it. I know we can we do it? Because I got a good
Let's
juice.
do it.
All right, let's get some juice here. I don't have a juice now, but let's let's do some of that. Before we get into some more NFL talk here, do you guys want to? We'll do juice. Do you have both juice and phony?
I always am
You're always
prepared
ready.
for the show.
Always
Dak.
ready. All right, you guys go first. Go for it.
Listen, who's the juiciest of all the juice guys? Matt
Who is it?
Stafford, bro. Get out of my face. Freaking took a dump on everyone's favorite pretty boy.
Yeah.
Shown that the real gunslingers still live and that he just needed a decent team because that guy's so good at football. He's just been stuck in fucking Detroit his whole life.
Yeah, dude. He looks
He is
good.
so juicy right now. It's not even fair to the rest of the league.
It is. He was. He looked good. Although I thought the phoniest uniform matchup of the season, maybe ever, was that game. That could have been so pretty had the Tampa Bay just worn their whites, and then the Rams worn the blue with the yellow pants. Like, and they went with they each picked their worst uniform and said, "All right, we're gonna play this really great game of 2-2-0 teams here with the ugliest uniform matchup." Anyway. That was that's my precursor. That's my big phony for the weekend. So by the way, that's my phony.
All right.
All right. So what's so that's your juice? You got a phony or what?
Oh, it's Ben Simmons. Continues to be the biggest phony of all the phonies in the phony world, bro.
Nice.
So it comes out that the team is like, hey, come talk to us, dude. Let's talk this out. And he's like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. How do you do that? Your own team that you say doesn't have your back is like, yo, we have your back. Let's talk this out. And he's like, no, I'm not going to talk. And then on top of that, now he's pissed off that the 76ers chose to build around Embiid instead of him.
Now I'm mad.
I've never seen a player burn bridges like this who, one, doesn't deserve it, and two, is doing it in the most annoying, stupid way I've ever seen. Like, if you're gonna burn down bridges, be out in front and just call everyone out. You know what I mean? That I can respect. But this, and not necessarily say anything. It's just his people leaking stuff about how sad he is. He's like, I'm not going to practice because they're gonna boo me.
Get out of here.
I don't understand how this story gets worse and worse every week. How can you keep compounding the phoniness on this freaking idiot, dude? It's worse.
Man, solid. Gus, what do you got?
I'm gonna pull an Edwin. I got 2 juices.
Oh,
yeah. And
see,
both of
why
them.
is it when you do it, it's like, ooh, great. When I do it, oh, here goes Edwin.
Because you always do it.
Oh, stop.
That's
You've
why I'm
never
pulling
read
an
the
Edwin.
directions once. That's the problem.
Yeah, for real.
Directions. Who needs that? Go, Gus. Give it to me.
Both of these guys kick balls. All right.
Oh,
One is Justin Tucker.
Oh, legend, dude.
Oh, bro.
66-yard balls.
Yes.
Oh,
And then not only the longest kick ever, but a game winner too, bro. It's unbelievable.
It wasn't like at end of the first half.
Yeah,
give it a shot. Let's
whatever.
see. No. Hey,
Mhm.
you missed. We lose, but it's okay because it's still crazy long.
Yeah,
but I felt bad for Detroit because the way
dude, they
I
have
know.
bad beats every game.
horrible.
It
They're
sucks,
so
man.
close to being a normal team. They're so close.
Yeah, man. And fun fact, Mason Crosby, he also hit a over 50-yard field goal to win the game. I think it's the first time in NFL history that 2 games were decided on game-winning over 50-yard field goals.
See, everyone wants to talk shit about kickers and punters, bro.
For
Hey,
real,
bro.
man.
So important.
Guess who had Justin Tucker on his fantasy team? I'm telling you, bro. You got to know. You got to. Hey,
it's a big deal.
You got to know.
Auburn's own Daniel Carlson from the Raiders. Just kicking balls all over the place again. The only good player on my fantasy team.
Hey, I've won.
Bro. That guy beats
won
himself
and lost.
in fantasy.
Hey, don't be giving fantasy advice here, Mr. Worst at fantasy. Look, I've won and lost a lot of games with the kicker, so it's an important position. So
my second juice is another ball kicker. Leo Messi, bro, finally scored his first goal with PSG in the Champions League.
That's a little expired overdue juice, but I'll give it to you.
I mean, that was today.
I know it's taking him so long. I'm just saying it's taking him a while.
He's played like 2 games.
Yeah, dude.
Still, it's the most loaded team in the history of like soccer. Like I don't get mad if we were expecting it a little quicker. That's all. I'm just saying.
And you know, my favorite thing from that game was that man, maybe the greatest person to ever have a soccer ball touch his foot, did the thing where he laid down under the wall.
Yeah.
Because he's such a good team. You know,
he laid down behind the wall.
He did? Messi did that?
Yes.
Yeah,
get out of here.
Such a good teammate.
That was good.
You
all right.
Who would have never done that?
That's
Ronaldo.
your phone. That's
fact.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day,
he would never do that.
That one move, it puts him over, and that's the end of the conversation.
100%.
All right. Okay. I'll give it to you.
100%.
Right.
I even had one of my boys ask me, "Yo, what is he doing?" Like,
it's shocking for the
I had to explain the tactic.
That would just be like, I'm going to do it because
you know what's more shocking to me is that move, laying down behind a wall, is relatively new in soccer.
Yeah.
But free kicks have existed forever, and they just figured out that they can do that.
In the last 2 years, they're like, all right, well.
That's...
They're like, wait, what if we put game changer?
Yeah, bro.
How do they keep scoring underneath the wall? Put a guy down there.
You know what it is?
Nobody think of that before.
No, people have thought of it, but they've been like, no, bro, we can't go out there and do it. We're going to look like idiots. Everyone's going to make fun of us. And then it takes the one person to just go out and do it, and everyone's like, all right,
and he's like, I will do this for the team. Because you know some Spaniard guy probably. Solid. Man. What about your phony?
My phony, bro. The entire college football network in the state of Florida, all the teams suck. I know the Gators are good, but they had a chance to beat Bama and they fucked it up. So the entire state of Florida college football sucks. Phonies.
Cut it off.
Solid.
All our good players leave the state.
Solid phonies. All right, well, I already said my phony, but my juice, I'm glad, again, none of you guys picked it, but see, I was super invested into Sunday Night Baseball because I lost, and this is an incredible thing about fantasy sports here. Sometimes it works like this. I've had this happen one other time before. Last time I was on the good end, this time I was on the bad end. Our baseball season that we did went down to the last game on the last day of the fantasy season, down to the last inning to decide a winner. Because going into the Red Sox Yankees game in Fenway, Aroldis Chapman came in to close out that game. Had Aroldis Chapman struck out 2 guys, I would have tied, and then it would have gone into a tiebreaker, and maybe I would have won. I'm not sure if I had the tiebreakers or not. But if I had struck out the side, which is possible, because it's Aroldis Chapman, he only throws 100 miles an hour, and he strikes out everybody. Had he struck it out, I would have been the clear-cut champion. Okay, it was down to that last
awesome.
of the last,
literally like
everything. I refreshed that damn fantasy app so many times all weekend long. It was 7-5, 6-6, 5-6, 5-5, 6-6, 7-5. It was like that. I ended up losing 6-5. Aroldis Chapman got 1 strikeout. Blew a couple of calls on a couple of what should have been a second strike. And instead it was a ball.
Chapman was just like putting it in the bleachers, and everyone's like, "Whoa, that was on target!"
Oh man, I'm telling you, look, Wonky, who was following along the game too, because he's like, "Yo, you need these strikeouts." I was like, "I know," because I was playing the guy who beat him, and it should have been Wonky in the final, and I was like, "Ah!" But there was some bad calls. It was a clear strike. It's a different pitch. Aroldis is giving you the stank cheese on an 0-2, and he's not giving it to you on a 1-1 count. You know what I'm saying? So when it could have been an 0-2 count, could have gotten the stank cheese strikeout pitch, he gave another, and they grounded out. He still got to save. Yankees win. But my juice here, my juice is the Yankees, but I'm singling out Giancarlo Stanton. Here's why. Okay, I know you hate it, but look,
grapefruit juice.
No, get out of here. Grapefruit soda, delicious.
It's good for your cholesterol.
Yes.
but
Look,
it tastes like garbage.
the Yankees were 2 games out of the second wild card, or out of the first wild card. Yankees and Red Sox had the 2 wild card spots. Rays already closed out the division, right? As you know, in baseball, the 2 wild cards are going to play each other in a 1-game scenario.
Mhm.
First wild card is the host. So it's an important thing. You want to play the game at Yankee Stadium if you're the Yankees, and if you're the Red Sox, obviously you want to play at Fenway. This game, they went into this series down 2 games and swept in Boston. The Yankees did, all right, to put them in sole possession of that first place wild card, which today is they didn't have a game yesterday, so today, we'll see how it goes. They started that against the Jays. But here's the thing, though. The reason I give the juice to Giancarlo Stanton in particular, the dude did nothing but crush dongs all weekend long. It was
good when he wants to be.
It was it was vintage juice. Yeah. It was vintage Marlins juice. It was hitting him. He hit one that went over the Budweiser sign on top of the Green Monster, right? And it was still going up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the ball was a line drive going up, and I didn't see that ball dip. I didn't see it hit his apex and start coming down. You know what I mean? It was intense. It was amazing. Not only that, he crushed a grand slam. He had like 3 bombs, 10 RBIs in the series. Like, you had Yankees, Red Sox, you had all this stuff, and this dude stepped up for the first time in a big moment, and seized the moment. I'm happy for him. I wish he would have been doing it here for the Marlins, but it was good to see it, and it was good the way that he was doing it, which was his old way, crushing those dongs, bro.
You know what happened?
What?
George Costanza came in and he said, "You guys should wear cotton uniforms."
He's all about angles. It's all about angles. It's just teaching him how to swing over there.
Have a spicy sports nugget.
Ooh, I love that. Give it to me.
The first 5 Major League Baseball players to reach 40 home runs. This is by Stats on Twitter, by the way. I'm stealing this. Shohei Ohtani, Salvador Perez, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Marcus Semien, and Fernando Tatis Jr. It's the first time that the first 5 players to reach 40 home runs in a season were all born in different countries. So shout out baseball, the international sport, apparently.
It is, bro. Of the big 4 here, it's definitely the most international, man. That is a really cool stat.
Yeah, Japan, Venezuela, Canada, USA, and the Dominican Republic.
Nice, dude.
Oh, dude, we talk about monster dongs all the time.
Yeah, welcome, Ricky. Thanks for stick around, stay a while, bro. I say dong.
But there's a specific dong that's only one that Giancarlo can hit, and that's the one that's 15 feet off the ground and just goes straight, dude. Or like someone could technically just like stick their hand out and catch it.
Yeah.
But somehow he hits a home run at that distance. Those are my favorite ones where he just crushes and it goes, and it's just high enough to like clear the wall.
I'm telling you, dude. Go back. If you didn't see his monster dongs this weekend, they were impressive. He was crushing it. And again, it was good. We're on the verge of a Yankees, Red Sox Game 7, essentially, to lead us into the playoffs. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. But don't rule out, because if one of these 2 slip, the Jays are like a game out. You know what I mean? And right now the Yankees are playing the Jays, and then they finish with, I forget who they play. There's 6 games left.
We all love the Jays. We love that they have all the sons.
But I want Yankees.
I
want Yankees, Red Sox. Yeah, give it to me, especially at the way they're playing right now. They're both playing really, really well. And to think that Miami style, irregardless, all 3 teams are 3 out of the 4 teams in the AL East are in the playoffs. Telling you, bro, that's crazy. Best baseball that you can get is there, and baseball is really, really, really good all around. The playoffs getting ready to start, so it's the last week of the season. Enjoy it, and we'll see October baseball coming up, bro. Woo! That's when I get my spooner, bro, my baseball spooner. All right.
Hey, man, we're gonna bring back an old segment.
Give it to me.
Are you ready for a little 5 downs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you have a sound for that, bro?
Oh yes. Hold on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I do. Where is it? Here it is.
Yes.
That's the OG sound right there.
Yeah, that's the original sound. I love it. I love the
visual doesn't work as well as it did when we were just a podcast, but that's the sound right there.
Who cares? We can go with that. I love it. First down. Ooh. Casey and No Mojo. Casey takes another L, bro.
Yes.
They're in sole possession of last place in the AFC West. will they still win the division? The Broncos and the Raiders are undefeated, and the Chargers only have one loss.
Well, if you recall, certain somebody here, as my name says right there, Finstradamus is also NFL Stradamus, I said there's a reason I picked them as setting off the panic alarm. And this was the panic alarm scenario. They should be 0-3. When you really think about it, they played like shit against Cleveland that first half at home. Cleveland just wasn't able to close it out. They were able to summon that Kansas City magic. This guy's throwing passes where he literally said at the end of the game where he was like, yeah, I just threw it out there. Fuck it. I know Tyreek was out there, so I'm hoping he's going to catch it. Like, he's just literally just throwing it out there. Can they figure it out? That team is way too talented. But I'm also thinking the defense is suspect, and there's that fatigue of being on top. Eventually, it catches up to you. I thought it would take another year, but they're going for their third straight trip to the Super Bowl, and it's taxing, bro. It's taxing, so not surprised.
What you got, Achilles?
What?
Come on. Broncos, really? We're really worried about the 3-0 Broncos.
I'm not worried about the Broncos.
We're worried about, again, we got to watch out for Vegas. They almost got beat by a defense. Get Vegas out of my face, bro. Like, they're fine. And like we were talking about on Friday, I think they've lost the mystique of being completely unbeatable.
Yeah.
Which will give other teams hope when they are maybe down or trying to hold on to a lead. That's fine. I'm not saying that they're gonna sweep everyone, but give me a break, bro. Like, enough. Just stop. They're gonna be fine.
I definitely I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the Broncos. I'm not worried about the Raiders. I'm not worried about the Chargers. I'm actually just worried that this is one of those things where we've seen really good teams just not figure it out. Like, something happens, they don't get back on track. You know how they always said with the Heat, they'll just turn on a switch, and we kept waiting for that switch.
Sure. I 100% agree. But and those Heat teams, every single year that they were together, what did they end up doing? Some years they were better, some years they were worse. But at the end of the day, the talent's gonna win out, dude.
Well, I'll say this: I need the Chiefs to get angry, start playing really well, because I got a lot of Chiefs players on my fantasy team. That was one of my draft strategies.
That was your entire strategy, was just Chiefs.
I tried a different strategy this season, legit.
See, bro, you are super panic guy because you drafted all the Chiefs. They do bad week 1, and you're setting the panic on them.
Well, no, hold on.
Only because it's affecting your fantasy squad.
I still got points. I'm just saying, when they're a well-oiled machine, I'm gonna get more points. You know what I mean? I still got points. I'm 2-1 in one league, and I'm 1-0 or no, 2-1 and 2-0 in the other one. So I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm all right. But it is a little for them to worry. But yeah, that was my whole strategy this year. I went Kelsey, Tyreek, and then Mahomes. And then the other one I got Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hilaire, I think. I went all of them. I said, bro, I figured, you know what? If I could dominate all season and then there's just that 1 week where they're all on bye, I'll take the L that 1 week if it means I got a better chance of winning the rest. So definitely going against the grain there. All right.
Well, them losing last week sets up Andy Reid to win his 100th game in Philly, so that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's all right, too. I know he had a hospital trip, too.
Yeah. I think he's out and he's fine.
Yeah, so illness.
I don't know what it was about, but weird.
We know what it was about.
Yeah. All right. Second down. All right. The king of the AFC North. The Bengals, the Ravens, and the Browns are all tied at 2-1. And the Steelers are 1 game back with 2 losses. So which team looks more legit, and are the Steelers in trouble?
Oh, Steelers are... Big Ben is a fucking... It was so funny where he just fell for no reason. He was just like standing, just like...
Yeah.
Bro,
team is screwed, bro.
Have you seen that meme?
Oh, no.
Go ahead. Go finish.
Najee Harris caught for over 100 yards. Because he can't throw it past the line of scrimmage, bro. It's unbelievable.
Man. It's crazy when you see your guy, like when you see a guy that you've watched play at a certain level, when you see them hit that drop. And last season the Steelers were like 10-0 at one point.
11-0, dude.
11-0. Big Ben looked good. And now you see them hit that spot, that moment, and it's just like, whoa, dude, that's not man, it happens, bro.
Yeah.
Drew Brees couldn't throw it past, 15 yards at the end. Eventually, it starts to catch up with these guys.
So, which of the other 3 teams you think are going to take the division?
Oof. Baltimore. Baltimore's still the better team. Like they are very flawed, but they're just like I said. The Bengals are nice, but they're more like the Broncos, where they're much better, but they're not. We got to be careful. And Cleveland, they're good, but to me, Baltimore has done it more. So I'm gonna stick with Baltimore.
And they go for it on 4th and 1, which I love.
I'll tell you, I'm big, bro. You know how big I am on Baltimore now that I really like them. That I was like looking at I wanted Lamar Jackson jersey. Like I'm like, bro, that guy. That's a nice one. As a person who has the yips, I could tell you. Ben, he's got all the symptoms.
His body doesn't move properly enough for him to have yips. Yips means you can't do something that you're normally. I think he physically just can't do things anymore.
Yeah, he's
barely got hips.
He's got plenty of hips.
And I'll tell you, I really like Lamar Jackson. I like him. What I don't like is that even though he doesn't need a running back because he's still going to tear it up, he doesn't need running backs behind him. His weapons are good. I think Baltimore is damn, bro. Tennessee Tenard is going to love hearing this, but glad he's not here. I think Cleveland is more well-rounded on both sides of the ball. Myles Garrett is a beast. That guy is unbelievable, dude. And he's phenomenal. Baker is good enough. I think Jarvis Landry's out for a while, but if they still have Odell Beckham, if he figures it out, and gets back to even some type of form, that's a threat. They have other guys out there. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt is, bro, God, is there a better backfield duo? You know what I mean? Like right now in the NFL, I think they're more primed overall on both sides of the field. They're more balanced. I want Baltimore to do it, but I think the beast in waiting here is the Bengals. They're just not this year. Not this year.
You know who's the one person that can outrun Myles Garrett? Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson? Yeah, maybe.
He's such an X factor. It doesn't matter that the other team is more whatever. And again, if it comes down to those two teams playing against each other, who are you really going to pick?
I'm going to pick my heart, and who I like is going to be Baltimore. But if I'm going to be smart about it, I'm just telling you right now.
Baker Mayfield's cute and all, but at the end of the day, like you said, everything is the quarterback. Everything. Wins and losses.
Yes, so, but I'll tell you, and this is why I said I hate admitting this because Tennessee tonight would be all over me. Cleveland, I told you they're the best. Baker Mayfield and all that crap.
I gave him a Baker Mayfield jersey for Christmas.
Yes, look, I'm telling you, I just think that they're more balanced throughout on both sides of the ball than Baltimore. I think the most explosive X factor is Lamar Jackson, but again, if Lamar Jackson gets stopped a little bit, I think that the other pieces won't carry it. I really like the backfield. I love the fact that Baker just has to hand it off to Chubb or Hunt over and over and over and over, and then he could throw. You know what I mean? This guy doesn't have that. Lamar Jackson doesn't have that. And the Ravens don't have.
But doesn't Lamar Jackson have a win against the Chiefs? No, recently.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that was his first one. Though. That was his first one.
I think it's unfair. I think it's unfair to say